Hey guys, what's up? How y'all doing? I'm here to talk to you guys about the next episodes of like a One Piece live action Netflix series, which is on episode 3 and episode 4. These two episodes right here, ever since I watched the third episode, I decided to go on to the fourth one because it's all connected here and there. But other than that, let's just get the starter right away. Yeah. Let's go. We have to it, Luffy and the crew are pretty much in need of a new ship. And, there are some scenes with Kobe and Garp, and Garp sees something in Kobe, actually, for a lot of reasons. When it came to a certain strategy game, Garp was actually losing to Kobe. He beat him the first time, but the ones after that, he was actually losing. So, Garp actually sees some potential in Kobe, that kind of thing. That aside, Luffy and his crew end up going to a place called Syrup Village, and they end up having to meet a man called Usopp, and they end up meeting a friend of his called Kaya. They even meet the butler and so forth and his friends, but apparently they are not what you think. Obvious from the get-go. If you guys have been watching One Piece or been reading One Piece from the very beginning and then all the way till now, etc., you'll understand that we all know this guy is not who we think he is. Unless you are really brand new to One Piece, which hope to heck, I really wish you read the manga or watched the anime instead. You'll be in some confusion. But that aside, we have to, there is a certain scene which I would like to talk about, but I will not mention it, maybe because it's not very important. I'm pretty sure it'll be important down the road when I continue watching the series, but maybe I'll talk about that towards the very end when I'm done with episode 4, recapping it or summarizing it or even talking about it. But that aside, we had to, Kaya does get along with Usopp and his friends, from the very get-go. But, as for Luffy and Zoro, they end up want to drink or eat, which I thought was pretty cool. But Zoro, on the other hand, realizes that the butler, Kuro, I'm gonna call him Kuro anyway because there's no point of hiding it anymore because we all know who he is, obviously from the get-go. Unless you don't know who he is because you're new to the series and just watching the live action series, you'll be confused as hell. So forgive me on that. But that aside, Zoro knew Kuro was a bad guy, and the moment Usopp and Zoro found the body of Mary, which really sucks that he died, but I guess they're gonna be realistic anyways, if you get my point of view or idea or cue. We had to it, Zoro was easily knocked out by a freaking bottle to the head, which I kind of laughed very badly on this, because I go I know they have to be realistic. Obviously from the get-go. It has to be. No matter what. Obviously from the get-go. So I understand why I laughed so hard about it, but it's kind of sad and pathetic in a way because, you get the idea. Because we all know how strong Zoro is in the anime and manga. Come on now. A freaking a smack to the head of from a freaking alcohol bottle. No. But honestly, I know things don't follow the source material very carefully because that's just how it is. I understand they have to be somewhat realistic, so they have no choice. So, yeah, obviously from the get-go, if I had to spoil it for you, yeah. As for Luffy, he ends up drinking a bunch of blue stuff, which was fed to Kaya, which apparently sadly is poison, that kind of thing. Well, I guess a weakening kind of thing. And, we had to it that Usopp, realizing that things are very bad, escapes and tries to warn everybody that there's pirates, but no one believes him. And, of course, the episode of number 3 ends up with Kobe saying, hey, I believe you. You gotta tell me what's up here and there, that kind of thing. And, of course, when it came to, episode 4, we get to know about Zoro's backstory, which I don't think I need to explain much here. Unless you watch the One Piece anime series or read the manga, you already know what Zoro's backstory is. If I had to explain it, Zoro used to be a very powerful swordsman in a dojo, but there's always this one girl beating him, even with real swords. And they end up making a promise to each other to see who will become the world's greatest swordsman or swordswoman. You get the idea. That aside, it gets only more tough here on out when we see Zoro's backstory, Well, when it comes to the episode in general, things kind of getting very tough here and there because Usopp knows the truth and he tries to warn Kaya, but Kaya does not believe him, etc. However, Nami overheard the whole thing in the kitchen when Luffy ate that freaking bluish stuff, whatever the that is, I don't care. But that aside, as Luffy is brought out to the Marines, which they try to ask, and then Kuro the butler is actually not make up some lies here and there. I don't care, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that's just how Kuro is. All I know is Luffy does wake up and he barfs out a lot of blue poison stuff, while Zoro, with his will and making promise, etc., he ends up having to climb out of the well that he was thrown into in episode 3. So we had to it that Zoro did get lost and finds Luffy, which is really hilarious. And then we had to it Kobe tries to arrest Luffy, but Luffy tells Kobe to back off right now because you want to help innocent people. This is your chance to help someone innocent. Kaya's innocent. So Kobe was still focused on wanting to capture Luffy, which apparently it goes by what Kobe was supposed to stand for. I understand his mission is to capture Luffy. That is to be understood. But if he focuses on the mission and abandons innocent people, that makes him no better of a good Marine. Although even if he was ordered to, or if he even has the job to do it, still. Because, honestly, if you guys have been watching and reading the One Piece series, you all know that the Marines is almost possibly like pirates, but they're in the legal rights of doing a lot of freaking stupid, heinous stuff. We've seen it, we read it, obviously, from the get-go. Yada, yada, yada. You get the idea. Forgive me. But that aside, like I said, Zoro finds Luffy after he climbs out of the well. Luffy goes with Zoro to go rescue his friends, And throughout that time, Calidor or that guy Kuro is trying to kill Kala. You get the idea. I don't care because he ain't going to be that important anyway in the future because here's what's going to happen. Luffy eventually finds that Kuro guy and corner after that five-bladed, whatever he is, corners Usopp, Kaya, and Nami, and Zoro fights his two subordinates, which, like I said, they're nothing anyway, because obviously from the get-go, I mean, if Netflix really f***ed this up with Zoro losing, then whatever. So, pretty much, Kuro ends up mocking Luffy about being a pirate, and that he's always had a target on his back. And Luffy's like, so what? You gave up on your dream. You don't have no right to call yourself a pirate. You're just a scumbag. So, pretty much, Luffy used his instincts and his own incredible combat fighting talent whatsoever and knocks out Kuro and sends him out of the building, Eventually, we have to it that Usopp and the others are given a ship by Kaya, saying that you could take the ship as that kind of thing. Which I thought myself was really sweet because, we all know how the Mary was given to, the Straw Hat crew. Well, this time it's a little bit different since the Straw Hat pirates saved Kaya and so she decided to give him for free, which apparently is the same thing they did in the anime and the manga. So it's nothing that surprising, all things considered. I mean, from the get-go. That aside, pretty much sadly though, we all know what happened to our guy Mary. He is pretty much dead, sadly. Because just because they decided to be a little realistic whatsoever, If I remember correctly, the butler Mary is still alive in the anime or manga, that kind of thing, because, whether it comes from armor plot or something, whatever you want to call it, but yeah. That aside, right now, they are given the Going Merry, and Kaya says you gotta go with Luffy and the others, because you gotta follow your dreams, that kind of thing. Even Luffy says, hey, come on, get your stuff and come with us, that kind of thing, which I thought myself was really sweet and nice, from the very get-go. You get the idea. Although Usopp is very hesitant, because he can't leave Kaya behind, because he made a promise, I'm not gonna leave you aside until you get better, but Kaya's like, well, it's time that I start being on my own. And this shipyard whatsoever is my parents' dream. As for me, I'm gonna go for for trying to go for a doctor whatsoever, which I thought it was pretty nice and slick. So I go okay, now we're talking, that kind of thing. So yeah. As for Luffy, he knows very well, knowing that the guy Mary was a good guy, so he decides to carry his spirit on by naming the ship the Going Merry. Well, yeah, you get the idea. That aside, yeah, they start this ship and sailing. However, they get attacked by Garp and the Marines, and this is when the ending of this episode 4 came out, as for Luffy saying, Grandpa? And then Usopp, Nami, and Zoro says, Grandpa, what are you talking about? He's the Marines, and then so forth. So, as for Kuro, he's pretty much sailing away because he has nowhere to go, and whatever he is, I don't give two fucks about him, because like I said, he's not that important anyway. You get the idea. That aside, yeah, pretty cool stuff. The ending of the episode, I could have gone to another one, but I go like, you know what, I'm going to stop it right here because, you know, that kind of thing. Anyways, yeah, I'm looking forward to the next few episodes to come, you know, episode 5, maybe 6, and then hopefully I might finish the series sometime next week on the new week, you know, because, you know, it's pretty cool. So, yeah, I heard a lot of good things about it, and so far it has not disappointed, you know. I mean, I understand they decided to go in a realistic sense, you know, compared to the anime and manga, because, honestly, I'm pretty sure it'll cost a lot way more money, and it'll take way longer if they try to follow the anime and manga, like, from step by step. Although they are staying true to the source material, which I thought was pretty cool, the original stuff actually makes it a little realistic, which I don't mind, because sometimes you can't really, like, what's the word? Copy or try to, like, act out every segment, every scene, and make it 100% accurate. Pretty much any live action series, nothing can never be 100% accurate because of money issues or because of, you know, you get the idea. If money was never an issue, no, I guarantee it'll be a very good series. But for the time being, I'm enjoying it as it is for now. As for the scene that I did talk to say a couple minutes ago in this video, that scene involves, like, Fishman and Buggy and the guy named Arlong. I'm not going to talk about that much there, but all I know is Buggy, etc. pretty much told Arlong some rubber guy freak is causing trouble on your, like, turf whatsoever. I don't know. You get the idea. Anyways, I'm really looking forward to, like, next episode and the ones after, and then possibly another one after that, because I'm actually enjoying it so far. Surely, like, anyone who's a fan of One Piece could agree. Well, there's always going to be criticism and nitpicking because that's just how it is. And I got a lot to talk about that maybe once I finish the series entirely. But yeah, that aside, that's about it. Speaking of which, there was a nice, cute original scene that never happened in the manga or anime. And that's when Kaya kissed Usopp and says, "Go, man, I want to hear the real adventures when you come back." And I'm like, oh man, this is going to be good. You know? And yeah, until then, peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot.